Excellent. We've arrived. We're down. We're down a football team. I mean, they're still with us. It's not like the plane didn't go down on the way back from Buffalo, but yeah, we're almost out of football talk, so we're going to get to that right away. We're also going to talk about the fact that the other teams, in an effort to make us less melancholy, are like, maybe we'll actually start playing well. Who knows? I mean, outside of last night's effort, we'll get to all of it. Welcome in. My name's Timmy. We've got Adam on the way to a red hot basketball game at 7:00. So we've got to get you out the door for the it's the Maine Celtics and the who?
Westchester Knicks. Westchester, New York. They play in Bridgeport, which is like 10-15 minutes down the road from me. So anytime the Celtics come into town, we try and get to the game. So
you're about to go there, and I mean, I would argue probably those are reasonably priced tickets, although you're probably going to buy some hats and some popcorn and some stuff. Like there's always and parking free, not free?
No, parking is free. I think the Maine Celtics Santa hats are going to be on sale, so I'll probably get one of those in clearance.
Grab one on clearance for Rubba Shoes. Rubba Shoes live from Ladder 2. I confirmed it's Ladder 2 in Lowell. So we might have them for the whole show. We might not. We might have burgers. We might have tots. I have no idea.
Never know.
That was very Seussian of me. I'm going to finish on that. I'm going to get over to Scotty. Speaking of love affairs, this shirt, Uncle Duke's, just phenomenal. And if for no other reason, anytime I see that logo, which is 8-bitted out, I love that it's built by it's like the bushes and stuff, right? From the game?
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
So super cool. And I look at that logo or just that image of Link, and I think to myself, that is, without fail, that is like every Wednesday before Thanksgiving of my childhood, because those games would always come out around the holidays. And me and my friends would drive around like morons trying to find the new game. And then we would camp out in my parents' basement and play it until our eyes fell out.
Now kids, all they have to do is hit refresh on their web browser to hopefully get a copy of it.
Yes.
Just
delivered to
them. Just download
digital
it.
code, no driving around, no Pheasant Lane Mall, no fun.
Right.
Oh, no fun.
I love the Pheasant
No
Lane
effort put in whatsoever. Anyway, so welcome in. You can grab all of our content online at atbshow.com. It takes you to the page with all the things. We're on YouTube and Facebook as we speak. We appreciate you watching. We ask you to comment and share and subscribe, and we appreciate everybody's efforts in doing so, because we're working, as we said, Adam, last week, we're working on that first $3 bill.
Yes, I can't wait to get it.
As you can tell, I've got a little gruffness. I don't have a sore throat, but I do have congestion. But when I woke up this morning, the wife was alarmed, and she grabs the gun and shoots my forehead, 98.2 or whatever the hell it was. And then, we run the gamut. We do the test and all this stuff, and I made it to work. I'm fine. And I also said to her, sometime between the shower I take and me walking into the building, there's going to be, I'm not going to get graphic on you, but like there's the thing when you cough and you get that one good chunk, and you spit it out, and it's the size of your head, and then suddenly you can talk and breathe.
It happened.
Everyone at my company's now walking carefully out to their car because they're like, oh, my God, there's something the size of his head that he spit up this morning on the way into the office. Yeah.
God.
And if you're enjoying dinner tonight, you're welcome.
That's awful.
You're welcome. It happens.
So half the ATB staff has had COVID, and half has been COVID-free so far. Fingers crossed, thumbs and toes.
I feel like Scotty's like a wily veteran. Like, I feel like it's been through his house 15 times, and yeah.
Just twice. I've only had it once, but just twice.
Oh, your house had it twice. Okay.
My house had it twice. Yes.
Got it.
It's like if it weren't a brand new beautiful house, Scotty, it'd be like the Velveteen Rabbit. We just have you burn it to the ground and start over. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Completely infected. There's a reference.
Like 6 years. Can't do that yet.
Awesome.
That's good.
So let's get to the Patriots first, because like we said, we want to just get this over with.
Bury them out of the way.
Yeah, and ultimately, I got to say, if we were going into this season, like clearly, you know how I felt, 8-9. I still think we're 8-9. That could still happen. I had no mindset that we were going to get to the playoffs. So looking at everything, the body of work, even with the last game, I'm happy with what they were able to cobble together.
Yeah.
The last game, though, when you realize how poorly they played, is also very fascinating, because they just, I've never seen a Patriots team and I feel like we say this every time there's a loss that we can't believe happened. I've never seen a Patriots team, double negative from my English teacher, not show up. It was only a single.
Well, it was very reminiscent of the game, the playoff game they had against the Jets. Remember, it was I think that was a divisional round, but it was at home.
Yeah.
And they just got run out of town, and it's embarrassing. I mean, it was, I don't think this team is as bad as that game was. I also don't think they're, like you said, Timmy, I don't think they're as good as their record was. I think it's somewhere in the middle. They definitely have things to add in the offseason, and I can't stand when people are laying this at the offense's feet, because I know the offense didn't do much of anything in that game either, but let's be realistic. I mean, Brady wasn't putting up 35 points a game in his first season in 2001. He just wasn't doing that. So, let's be realistic about what the offense is. I'm more concerned that the defense looked like they were running in mud and couldn't keep up with anybody because, Josh Allen is great, but the Bills don't have a great team. They have a great couple of players. They don't have a great team. We made them look great, but my guess is they will get blown out by Kansas City, or at least, lose by a touchdown or two. So I think it's not as bad as everybody thinks it is. I think it's probably not as good as I probably thought it was going into the playoffs. It's probably somewhere in between.
Yeah. Well, I'm Rubba Shoes. I'm dying to find out where Rubba Shoes headed. Well, Rubba Shoes wants TB12 back. We've established that over the last 18 weeks. We've established that. Couple of things. I find it really hard to believe that people think that Mac might get moved during the offseason.
What?
Just people throwing out.
I've heard some of that going on too.
Yeah, the fact that maybe we can move him. Maybe he's not the guy. Like there hasn't been enough time for that. First of all, like that to me is crazy talk.
Agreed.
And I think ultimately the speed on defense was just not there. I felt it was about 10 years ago. It's been so long. We've been so spoiled. It's about 10 years ago. We had that bend but not break defense, which I feel like we've had for 30 years. And you would watch it on TV, and the opposing team's wide receiver, there was nobody else, and we're talking big HD TVs. There was nobody else in the frame. Like wide open, like HD wide open. And there was a lot of that the other night that we didn't see, in the earlier half of this year. So I just what is the breakdown on defense, Scotty?
To me, like I was watching and I was sitting there watching, like McCourty got beat on a couple of spots where even by Allen, and to Adam's point, like Allen is a great player, but like McCourty, it wasn't even like a bad angle. He had the angle. He just got beat. They got old quick. Hightower, Van Noy, McCourty, Collins. They got old way faster than I expected them to, and especially in that game. And it's funny is like when you said Tim is like after we can't understand anytime a loss, but this one specifically, you never seen it before because it was NFL history. They scored 7 straight touchdowns.
They were perfect.
I mean,
they
crazy,
were perfect. And the thing is, when people blame the offense, it drives me nuts because you can't really blame the offense. That interception was one of the greatest interceptions I've ever seen.
Unbelievable.
Anyone ever made.
Absolutely.
Because he dropped that in a bucket. That was a great throw by Mac.
Yep.
He dropped that in a bucket. Aguilar had it, and he just came in, just took it right out of his hands. But they didn't have time with the ball. Buffalo possessed the ball and just drove it down their throats, and just totally screwed the offense to really get a chance to get themselves going at all. But there's going to be a lot of changes. I think you're going to see some guys retire. I think Slater's done. I think
isn't that
McCourty's
crazy?
Done. Yeah,
like Matty Slater has been there since 1932, and the team just started in the 60s. So honestly,
I mean it's crazy. There's going to be a lot of changes, and especially on defense. The Mac, if anyone talks about trading Mac Jones, you're out of your freaking mind. You're out of your freaking mind.
Well, I completely agree with that. I love that you brought up the Micah Hyde pick because it's moments like that where when you see that happen, you're like, oh, the field is tilted in their favor. There was that World Series against St. Louis, and we made some pickoff play. The guy was leading off third base, and we made some pickoff play. And that was a series, and you see this in series or in singular football games where things just start to happen for a team, and you're like, this is their day.
Yeah.
And the Micah Hyde
100%.
pick, I'm like, oh, this is a fait accompli. Let's wrap this up. Warm up the buses. Time to go.
And apparently the defense got that message too.
Oh my God, yeah.
Because they just laid down. They're like, we're
Yep.
good.
Yeah, I think everybody was
what
like,
was the
"Oh,
score
it's
at the time? Was it score 14-0 or was it 7-0 at that time?
It was
7-0.
that was 7
Okay,
nothing."
so yeah, I mean,
Would have
that's
tied the game.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it was a
And that's-
ridiculous play, no question
don't
about
see-
it. It was ridiculous.
You don't feel like too many like first quarter plays, even turnovers, completely
Right.
make the
right.
difference in winning or losing. That play did.
super different.
Absolutely, that play absolutely did, and it's insane. That was an insane play.
Well, and like you, Adam just talked about the fact that they're probably going to go get the doors blown off by Casey, which kills me because I am now currently I have a whole row of seats. I saved 3 for you guys on the train that is anybody but Mahomes. I can't. I don't want to live on the planet. I don't want to see the T-shirts, even if he loses. I don't want one if you're sending him to Zimbabwe. I don't want one. And that is why I'm a Bills fan this weekend. Although I'm concerned for them because I think if they grabbed one big cup of courage from last Saturday night, it's not real.
Yeah.
Like you just played the worst version of New England football that we've seen in a long time. So if you're taking that like, oh my God, we're really grooving. They did play a perfect game offensively and never had to punt or anything like that. But if they're taking that and going into KC like we're going to be fine, you're not. It's going to be maybe worse than they expect.
Buffalo's. I think you guys are playing how bad the Patriots were, saying how that they're not a real team. I think Buffalo's going to go in and possibly upset Kansas City this week.
Wow.
I think they're for real.
I don't hate that. I just don't see it.
Ever since the second half of the Tampa Bay game that they played.
Yeah.
They've been a totally different team, and I think they're going to go in there and show up pretty good. And the things that I've heard on the radio stations the last few days is that the first 4 games where the Patriots their defense kind of wasn't that good.
Yep.
Is that it was Belichick and Mayo, and then Daddy took over that 7-game win streak, and then in the last game of that win streak, Steve Belichick made a call that, and actually you see Bill Belichick go over and give him a big hug at the end of the game because the defensive play worked, and then he gave it back to Steve Belichick. But the old guys like McCourty and Hightower and the guys that have been on the field with Mayo are like, well, why are you giving it to the kid? And so Mayo's telling guys to do one thing, Steve Belichick's telling them to do the other, and it broke the defense in half. Like there was guys that were against Belichick and guys that were against Mayo, and they weren't on the same page, and that's what I think showed. And I did hear that Judon had hurt ribs, so that could have been a reason why he didn't play so well down the stretch either.
Yeah, I think his performance falling off a cliff had to be tied to an injury that we're going to hear about, like we're hearing about now, but we're going to hear about in like 2 weeks. They're going to report he's going in for surgery or something. I mean, if it's a rib, they don't do that, but yeah.
Oh, 100%. And this thing with Mayo and Belichick, I mean, I get that there's probably some it's like if you work at a big company and the CEO's son comes in, right?
Yeah.
And is starting to tell you what to do. You're like, F off. I've been here for 10 years. You're not telling me what to do just because daddy runs the company, right? I mean, it's the same deal. That being said, I mean, I think Belichick's son has come up in the organization. So it's not like he just all of a sudden took over, right? I mean, it's not like he came in and the guy was like, here's the playbook, start calling plays.
Right.
He's been in the organization for a while. I think, personally, what's going to happen is if Flores doesn't get picked up as a head coach, which is a big if, I think they bring him back and they start – it's sort of like a Josh McDaniels thing. You went to Denver for a couple of years and like, oops, we need you back. Come back and let's, put the team back together. So that's what I think is going to happen, although it's a large unlikelihood that he's available. But if he is available, I think they bring him back and then bump Belichick back down a couple of pegs.
Yeah, I think currently, I think there's only 2 black head coaches in the NFL.
Right.
So I personally
down to 1 right now.
Oh God, yeah. I think Mayo and Flores are both going to get jobs.
Oh, you do this in the offseason?
Yeah,
Really?
but
I'm sure.
as of
I think Mayo
right now, there's one currently because the guy from the Texans got fired, Flores got fired.
Right. Yeah. So I mean,
so
and the reason I say that, Adam, honestly, what's really fascinating is Mayo, who they haven't elevated to any position, who everybody likes, is struggling to get out of the mire of like that sideline on the defense.
Right.
And he's probably going to get a head coaching job.
Yeah, I think.
I'm not saying he's going to. I'm not saying he's going to be perfect, but I love to see that for him.
I think if he doesn't get a head coaching job, I don't think Mayo's going to be back on the Patriots' defensive side next year.
Yeah.
Because of what happened, and I think a lot of those guys like McCourty and Hightower and the guys that are at the end and Slater, those guys, I don't think any of them are coming back. I think they're going to turn it over, go young, and have the young Belichick take over. I have heard some rumors of the Flores thing. That would be great. I think that would be awesome.
I'd be psyched, back super psyched,
and actually make him the defensive coordinator instead of having. You have Belichick and Mayo. No one's really dubbed the defensive coordinator, and then you always have Bill hovering over them. But another thing I heard is the guy that went to Detroit and came back.
Patricia.
Yeah.
I heard he might take over.
I feel like he did. That's why they sucked. Because his defense has been awful. His play calling has been so bad, so friggin' bad. These last it was really, really bad. And and Billy, that's a good information about like the coaches and the miscommunication and stuff. I think I definitely see that as being a
I've
huge
heard that
issue.
on multiple stations.
Yeah, I'd be really surprised, honestly, if Mayo does get a job. I think he's going to get a lot of requests, but I don't know if he'll get. I don't know. It could be a Joe Judge situation where the guy's got he just for some reason someone like snatches him up. But I agree. I think if he doesn't get it, he'll get a legit defensive coordinator position somewhere.
Joe Judge is a hot mess, though. I mean, I know you're not comparing the two people, but he's such a hot mess. What a travesty that situation was for the Giants. I mean, don't get me wrong, I hate the Giants, but Joe Judge, oh my God, he's like screaming at people. He's like the worst.
It was fun to watch.
He was just quarterbacks coach, and they hired him as a head coach. He didn't.
I thought he was special teams, wasn't he? Special teams.
Yeah, special teams.
Special teams, right? Yeah.
He was never a coordinator and actually calling plays on.
Right. What a mess.
The
Giants organization
over his head. Yeah, Giants they're both those New York teams don't know what the hell they're doing.
I would love to see Flores come back. I think the Dolphins made such a mistake by letting him go. You win your last 8 games and you're going to fire your head coach. Like, that's insane to me. The guy and they've been perennial, a pile of crap for so long, and now he's got them on the come up, and you're going to let him go. I mean, God, I hope they bring him back for the Patriots' sake, but my God, the Dolphins, what a mistake.
That wasn't about like his actual job performance. Apparently, that was about him and a lot of the players. They didn't see eye to eye. That's what came out after the fact.
Interesting.
Like him and Tua got into it quite a bit, and apparently,
I think that's why Van Noy ended up back with us. Is he had a beef with him down there?
Interesting.
Oh, really? I didn't hear that one.
We've
but
talked
I guess
about
he told
this
Tua to his face that they should have drafted Mac.
We've talked about this a million times on the show, how the professional leagues now are so player driven, and it's like, if they don't like the coach gets booted out of town. Like, what is happening? I mean, honestly, it's not really working out that great. I mean, look at we're not going to talk about basketball yet, but look at the Lakers. The Lakers are a mess. And, LeBron James is got his fingerprints all over that team, and they're a shit show. I love it too, but it's ridiculous. I think it's not really working, and I think we go back to let's let the coach and let the players play. I mean, and not be GMs at the same time. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, if the NFL starts doing the NBA super team thing, we're going to be in trouble.
Oh, it'll be awful.
Football, because look at the Texans. Bill O'Brien got rid of their best player.
Yep.
Like 2 years in a row, and it's like, okay, I guess the coach does matter still in the NFL, even though it blew up that team totally.
Yeah.
So this weekend, the 4 matchups. We don't need to do scores, but let's get our picks in. What do you think for the 4 games this weekend?
Who's going first?
I like Green Bay. I like Tampa. I think Cincy and Kansas City.
Okay. Scotty?
I'm on board with Cincy, mostly because I have some money involved in that situation. So hopefully that works out. And then
buy another 8-bit T-shirt.
Right, that's right. Buffalo, actually, I agree with what Billy was saying before, though. I think Buffalo is a good team, and Kansas City hasn't really. I don't know. I feel like they haven't really played great teams in this last stretch that they've been going on.
Yep.
Like they haven't been playing anybody super tough, and this little run that they've had. So I shouldn't say little. They've rattled off quite a few games in a row, but other than that one loss. But and then I taken Tampa Bay, and I'd probably take Green Bay just for them to choke in the NFC Championship. So.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with who I want to see win. So my head says it's gonna be KC, but I'm gonna go Bills. I'm gonna go Bengals. I'm gonna go Tampa, and I'm gonna go Green Bay. And then ultimately, I would like Green Bay to advance. And because personally, if I want anybody right now, because I'm not connected to a team anymore, to get a ring, it's A.J. Dillon on Green Bay.
All right.
I'd love to see that kid get a ring. He's just Quadzilla's awesome, and for a million other reasons, as you guys know, BC kid. I'd love to see him get a ring. So those 4 teams, because especially if Aaron knocks off Tommy, that'd be a huge story, right?
Huge story.
Because they're wildly competitive. I mean, the ratings, the NFL must just be sitting back. I thought this past weekend was brilliant. The Super Wild Card weekend with the third night on Monday.
I hated it.
I love it. I love
night.
it. I think the NFL
With
just sits
3
back and they're like, "Give us your
games.
money, stupid." I mean,
I know.
printing
I
money.
know. I mean, yeah.
Amazing.
I agree. I agree with the schedule was great, but the games were freaking horrible.
Oh God, yeah. But this,
They were like
2 good games, I think.
It started off so promising with the Bengals and the Raiders, and then it just worse and worse after
this always happens wild card weekend though. There's always blowouts.
Yeah,
I feel like
that's true.
there
That's
were
true.
historically there are blowouts, and we got to be one of them, which is great. Oh boy.
So,
All right, Rubber Shoes, what's your picks?
I like Tampa Bay, Green Bay, Tennessee, and Buffalo.
Oh.
Ooh, Tennessee's a good pick, actually. I'm waffling on Cincy, but I'll stick with it for now.
I'll be rooting for Cincy, but I think Tennessee will. Having that bye is
because Henry's
huge.
coming back, right? Is Henry definitely back?
Yeah,
supposed to be, yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. I feel like they're just getting cold. Yeah. I mean, you can say the bye week is a benefit, and I'm not saying it's not. My gut on that team is just they're primed to march in. We get the bye. We're gonna be great, and they're gonna get lit up, I think.
Yeah.
And I'm looking. I feel that the Green Bay San Francisco game could be a blowout because I know Garoppolo is really hurt going into that game. He's like not only does he have his thumb that he worked at, he has a torn ligament in his wrist too. So he's falling apart.
And is Bosa
So
out?
I think
Bosa
that could be
too, right?
Oh yeah, Bosa is probably questionable because he was
He got lit up.
his
Got knocked out.
concussion protocol. So that could get out of hand, that Green Bay game. But I think the other 3 games should be really good. That Tampa Bay LA game is going to be really good.
Yeah, that's going to be a good game.
Could go down to the last possession in that game. And I think the same with the Buffalo Kansas City. I think that could go down to whoever has the ball last.
So we're not rooting for Brady this week? I mean, or for the rest of the playoffs?
No.
See, I'm rooting for Brady.
I am.
I've got my
Oh, of
team.
course, Billy is. He's getting his tattoo. Yep.
He's got a
Buccaneer
tattoo.
Billy.
Oh, it's
Yeah, buddy.
It's
Raise the flags.
Tom, then
Yep.
Rodgers, then Burrow, Allen, and then I don't care about the rest of the quarterbacks.
And the question I'm going to ask that nobody wants to know the answer to: do you have all these fucking shirts?
No, I have Brady and Aaron Rodgers.
Why do you have an Aaron Rodgers jersey?
There's 50% right there.
'Cause that's
50% off.
Yeah. Why do you have? I'm curious. Why do you have an Aaron Rodgers jersey?
I've been a closet Green Bay fan. Well, my wife is a big Green Bay fan, and
All right. So
And
we've got Rubba Shoes. I think we figured we have cracked the code on Rubba Shoes. What he does is he has his closet full of every jersey, and once his team is out of the playoffs, he's been a closet fan of the other team that's in the playoffs for a long time, and he's like, "Whoa, I still got a team in the race, so I'm going for Green Bay."
The year that the Bruins, so 2011, when the Bruins won the Stanley Cup, I had a shirt of every team that Boston played in that run. And every year I'm like, okay, let's go Philadelphia. Okay, let's go the Canadians. Okay, let's go Vancouver Canucks. And I lost every round.
So you're proving my point.
But now that's not the same way. I don't like. I have some retro shirts. Like I have a Bo Jackson Raiders shirt and Kansas City.
Where are you storing these?
Oh, I had to put one of those like the bags, the big bag wardrobe,
the vacuum sealed bags
up in my.
He's got
attic.
a pod out in the driveway.
I probably have. I probably have about 20 jerseys up in my attic.
Oh my God!
Between hockey, football, baseball,
So those are 20 that you don't wear. Now, how many do you have that aren't in the attic?
So I shuffle through the seasons. So
oh my God!
There's a book no one wants to read, but it's a working title.
Shuffle through the seasons.
It is Rubba Shoes.
Yep. So it's like so I haven't really brought down all my hockey stuff because football is still going on. So once if Brady gets knocked out and Rodgers gets knocked out, I got no more football stuff to wear. So all the football stuff will go upstairs.
Might as well go out and buy a Josh Allen jersey.
No, that's.
Oh my God!
Do you have a Tua jersey?
He's going to give us reason why that shouldn't happen. Go ahead.
I can't. So back when I was Marino and Elway, it's like the Patriots weren't that good. So I really wasn't a big fan of a team. I was more fans of players back then. Even baseball. Baseball is, Red Sox are my number one team, but I still had like Dodgers stuff. I loved Fernando Valenzuela. I loved the Reds, Pete Rose, Kirby Puckett. I love. So I love individual players. So that's who I'm rooting for. It's like when I get a Kirby Puckett, I'm not a Twins fan, but I'm a Kirby Puckett fan. I'm more a fan of the player, not so much the
shuffling
team.
through the seasons.
Scotty Dukes is reassessing his life choices right now.
It's like counting up his jerseys. Like
my family's upstairs waiting for me to have dinner.
Baseball, I have a Griffey Jr., a Pete Rose, Bo Jackson. That might be it for non-Red Sox.
That's
it?
Might is the key and operative word.
And I can think of right now.
Do you have an inventory system for this?
Yeah,
Do you have like barcodes on each of the jerseys so you can be like, whoop, okay, this one I've had since 1997?
Yes, it's Rubba Shoes' screwy decimal system. Yeah.
Screwy decimal
And I'm pretty sure I only have Celtics jerseys at the moment.
I feel like that has to be false. That has to be false.
I'm pretty
You don't have a Magic jersey or something?
Tyler has like Vince Carter and Zion Williamson, and he might have a couple other ones, but I think I'm strictly just Celtics. I have Pierce. I have a Shaquille O'Neal jersey when he was with the Celtics.
Are you in Little Shoes like teenage sisters that trade jerseys?
1,000%.
No,
hey,
he's
I'm
too
going
big.
to the Woo Sox game tonight.
We had about 1 year that he was the same size shirt and the same size sneaker, and then he went a size bigger in both than me.
And that year, you doubled your wardrobe.
Yeah, it was a great year.
I'm gonna do this along those lines. And I can only ask Scotty and Rubba Shoes, and I hope I can't ask Adam. When you have your boys at a certain age, how did you differentiate the underdingers? Like, how did you did you buy certain colors, or because if you go out and buy the same brand for your boys, Scotty, then you guys are doing laundry and everybody's dingers are in the same mess, and you're like, I don't know what size is whose. You're not there yet, but you're getting there. Rubba Shoes has dealt with this.
Yeah, when we were the same size, we didn't have the same brand.
Okay.
So it was easy. So right now, he has a couple that are the same brand. So it's like, okay, those are his.
Like the worst version of car. What is it? Planes, trains, and automobiles. Those aren't Bentleys.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
Snakes on a plane.
Oh my god.
Are we done?
Yeah,
made a trade.
Where are we going? Where are we going?
Celtics made a trade.
It's just like staring off into the ether, wondering about how many jerseys he has.
Celtics made a trade. Go ahead.
They did.
What do we got?
They did. There was a part of a 3-team swap. They ended up getting Bol. Big fan, by the way. And that's not just because he's 7'2" or whatever. And PJ Dozier, who I'm also a big fan, from Denver. And they also got almost $4.5 million in cap relief, which is awesome. They traded Herman Gomez and I want to say it was a second-round pick. Also was thrown in there, but it's good. It actually ends up being it's a good trade. Not for this year, because Dozier's out for the season. He tore his ACL. He's done.
Oh boy.
Bol is about to have surgery. He's going to be out for at least 8 to 10 weeks. Or so, but he, in theory, he could come back, this season. But they freeing up some cap space from everything that I'm reading from, Wojciechowski and others are saying that the Celtics are looking to make another move. Trading Adams'
I would
boy,
hope so.
Al Horford. Is one of those moves. Dennis Schroeder is probably going to be they're trying to build his value up as much as possible. So looking at the value for Horford, Schroeder, Smart, and they're trying to keep like Pritchard and Naismith and those guys. They're actually trying to keep them from everything I'm reading, but they're going to look to move on from some of the other guys. So the $4 million in cap space is huge, frees up a bunch of stuff. The one person I'm hearing that's actually closely tied to the Celtics right now that they're looking to move is Buddy Hield. He's got a decent sized contract, but the kid can flat out shoot, and that's what the Celtics need more than pretty much anything, other than like an actual pass first point guard, because they're 24th in assists. But not gonna go down that right now. But anyway, they're also in the mid to high 20s in 3-point shooting. And so they definitely need someone like that, someone that can catch and shoot and be able to, actually make a three every once in a great while. So he's been attached to the Celtics, and like I said, his contract's not great, but as of right now, that's the closest thing. We got about 3-4 weeks until the trade deadline, 3 weeks, something like that. So there'll be a lot more moves. But you hear about I don't know if you guys heard Udoka, what he said at his press conference. Basically, he's been talking to Brad. This was right after the last game against the Pelicans, which, by the way, why they had to come back from 18 points down to win, kind of made me, whatever, just another slow start, but at least they won.
Yeah.
He said, apparently Stevens' phone is, ringing off the hook, and, he's been a part of a lot of the conversations with Brad and trying to make these moves. So at least he's a part of the conversation. He's a part of doing that. But, it'll be an interesting few weeks.
So Adam, you're going to go see the Westport Knicks or something? What are you doing tonight?
Westchester Knicks.
Sure.
Playing the Maine Celtics, yes.
Will any of these new acquisitions be on the Maine Celtics on the floor tonight?
I don't believe so. They're both out. Aaron Nesmith was on the Maine Celtics for about a week, and he's not going to be on them anymore. So
he was way too good, dude. He was way too good.
I know he was putting up like 30 points a night for the Maine Celtics.
He was way too good to be down there. He should be playing, and they should be giving him friggin' minutes. Like that's the thing about Udoka. He's driving. His substitution patterns are just trash. They're absolute garbage. Absolute garbage, man.
I appreciate Scotty Duke's analysis of our potential trade rumors and everything, and have come to the conclusion that we will not make any moves at the trade deadline, based on Scotty's from history. That we'll never do it. We always hear about, we're going to get this guy, we're going to get that guy, we're going to trade this guy, we're going to trade that. We never make any good trades. I mean, the two guys we traded for in the over the summer, Horford and Schroeder, we're going to ship them out. Like, come on, what are we doing here? The Celtics, I don't know. baffles my mind how bad the Celtics front office has been over the last 5 or 6 years. We're not doing anything good. We're not developing talent. It's just like we had all that stuff from the Nets after the Pierce trade and everything. We haven't done much of anything with that. It's ridiculous. It's driving me nuts. I think I'm lukewarm on the rest of the season, and I think it's going to come to the off season, and we're going to have to do something in free agency. We won't do anything in free agency, and next year we'll be talking about the same thing in February. So
the good news is Danny's coming back for the trade deadline, so we can call your house and be like, we missed it by that much.
That's right.
So I feel the two guys that just got, you may see Bol a little at the end of the season, but you're probably not going to see both of them next year, because Bol is a restricted free agent at the end of the season, and Dozier is a free agent at the end of the season. I think they got those players to make more room for the offseason to hopefully make a big splash then.
So Scotty,
yeah,
do you think in the last little hot streak, is that based on who we're playing, or they're actually gelling and improving, or both? Like, what do you attribute that to?
Against the 76ers.
Yeah, but they bounced back against Chicago. Now, Chicago's lost 4 in a row, and they didn't have. I don't think.
Yeah, Chicago didn't have Levine and Ball.
But I mean, that's it's still you play. But to me, I think it's a little bit of both. I think they are playing better. I also think that the two Jays have started to hear the noise a lot, and it's and Horford actually mentioned something about this too, where it's like they are making an effort to kind of like, hey, look, are we actually going to do something this season? Are we actually going to bring this kind of together a little bit? And it's going to have to be with them. Like, those two have to bring this team together and kind of carry them and play better. And I think, honestly, Jaylen Brown missing that time, like he was, when he came back, he was just not 100%. And I think he's starting to play a lot better, playing a lot more like himself as well. Yeah. He looks a lot better on the court, especially. So, to me, I think it's a little bit of both. They're not playing like spectacular competition, but look at the East. I mean, you think about it, the Celtics, as bad as they are, they're 23-22. They're only 5.5 games out of the first place. You know what I mean? Like that's where they're at right now. So the West is even more of a mess. The NBA right now has no parity at all. It's a freaking disaster. Like it's all messed up. It's such a weird league right now. But yeah, I mean, I think they've done, and also the other thing is too, if you notice, like Udoka is actually starting to play more players, right? Also, if you notice that this run has also started, they've won 7 of the last 10. Marcus Smart hasn't played in a lot of these games, so he's because he's been out for a little bit. So Richardson has played decent. He's knocked down some shots. He's also part of trade rumors too. But Schroeder's obviously had some big moments too. But I think J&J right now are playing a lot better, and they're trying to bring people together. And honestly, Tatum's assist numbers during this little run have actually gone up as well. I don't know if anyone saw that left-handed pass that he had the other day.
To Naismith, that was a hell of a pass.
That dunk. That was beautiful. That was beautiful.
Yeah, they're definitely moving the ball around a lot better the last 2 weeks or so. I've noticed that, and I hope they're learning that, yes, team ball is getting them these wins. It's not the ISO ball where it drives me nuts. Every once in a while you'll see, Tatum come just over the line and just stop and dribble. And it's like, what the hell are you doing? It's like, you got to move the ball.
I don't mind if that happens when you're getting low on the shot clock and you want your best player to create a shot by himself, right? For whatever reason, your set didn't work. Okay, your set didn't work. You didn't get the shot you expected. You have 8 seconds left on the shot clock. You swing it to Tatum, you give him a quick isolation, and you let him create a shot, and he makes a shot or tries to take. I'm fine with that, but I agree with Billy. Like, it drives me nuts when he just crosses half court and just pounds the ball onto the floor and then does a step back 3. You can get that anytime you want. Anytime you want. That's what drives me nuts about the NBA right now. There's this obsession with the 3, constantly shooting the 3, and that's basketball as a whole. It's just a mess. But you can get 3s anytime you want. You really can. It's about how you can get to the basket and take high percentage shots. That's that's what makes the good teams and the bad teams. I mean, look at Phoenix. Phoenix isn't a great 3-point shooting team. They're decent. They're like, probably between 10 and 14 in the league, in the Western Conference especially. But, like, they do drive the basketball. They do get the ball to Ayton, Booker. They go to the rim. You know what I mean? They shoot a lot of free throws. So, I don't know. I still think it's a long way to go, and we still have a lot of basketball. But go ahead, Timmy.
I love that you brought up Devin Booker at the free throw line. Who was he fighting with? He was fighting with somebody's mascot at the free throw line. He didn't get into a fight with him.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, the
like
mascot.
arguing with him?
Yeah, the mascot was right behind the hoop or something. I forget what it was. It was
I'm gonna look
complete foolishness, and they got into it, and then he talked about afterwards how they made up and they're cool and all this kind of stuff. But it was,
It's all the analytics people. They say if you can go, 35 to 40% from 3-point land, it's better than going 80% from 2. And I don't know how they get those numbers to come out right, but if they keep going like the Celtics, the one thing I've noticed too, when they play in transition, they are so much better. But sometimes they'll have like 3-on-2 and they stop and wait for everyone else to get down the court. And it's like, you had the numbers, keep going.
Are you still in the trade Tatum camp, Rubba Shoes?
I think they need to blow it up totally, but they're not going to because it's hard to get too. I have trouble calling Brown and Tatum elite right now, but they are in the top 20, so it's hard to just throw them away and get 2 new ones. It's so you kind of have to make it work with what you have.
Yeah, when they hit elite status at him, he'll get.
To be great.
When they hit elite status, he'll get 6 of each of their shirts. Right now, he just has 2 Tatums and 1 Brown. Yeah, so.
Well, that makes sense. You don't want to until a player cracks the top 10. You don't.
Oh my God, he's going to list them off. How many do you have? I don't want to know, but I'm asking.
One Tatum jersey, and I have my Kemba Walker.
No Brown
still.
jerseys? You don't have a Brown jersey?
No, because I keep thinking he's going to get traded. Because number 7 is my favorite number, so I've been wanting to get the number 7. And then, so what happened with Walker? So Walker got traded, and now I just say it's a Antoine Walker jersey because it's the same number. So if Jaylen Brown leaves, I'll just say it's a D Brown jersey when he won the dunk contest.
Oh my God!
So will you put? I'm really
Please ask whatever you're going to ask. Any question, go.
Will you put if he gets traded? Will you put masking tape over Brown? And
yes.
Oh, it could still be D Brown, I guess. I mean, I get.
Yeah,
Okay, I get
yeah,
that. All right.
Yeah,
I got
Brown
that.
and the
All right,
Walker
all right.
work. But I did someone. Who was it? There was someone that we got and let someone go, and it was the same number. And I did do that once.
I love that. I love the silver electrical tape with the phrase at the end.
Sharpie on it.
Oh yeah. Yep. Yeah, that's a choice that people make apparently. Yeah.
So I
the
guess
Celtics
the
play
only
the
real way
Hornets
to
tonight at 7:30.
Yeah, Airbnb
what's
tonight.
happening?
That was a sick
Celtics.
play last week with Airbnb on the Hornets.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was Mello, right? And the pass between the legs for the alley-oop.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, dude, it was awesome. That was awesome.
Unbelievable. If we had 2 elite players, they would do that.
Top 20.
But we don't. Yeah, but we don't.
Or
Yeah.
elite.
So
Do you have a Schroeder jersey? Rubber Shoes?
No, because I keep thinking he's going to get traded.
Why does that matter?
Because I don't want to spend
I thought you were a player guy,
$130
not
for
a laundry guy.
half a season jersey.
But he's better than Tatum, and you have a Tatum jersey.
Well, Tatum, I got when he was a rookie,
Scotty.
so I've had it for 5 years.
Obviously, I'm not serious, Scotty.
No, I know.
My favorite part is when he rationalizes everything.
Right.
Yes.
No,
Yeah.
it's the best.
Yeah.
It's the best.
Well,
It's
no,
an
it was a
investment.
Thursday. We were at Modell's. I had $20.
Obviously.
Yeah.
On clearance.
That's why I waited to get the Mac Jones jersey till I'm like, okay, so he's the
God.
starter now, and so at least I get a season out of it.
Then he threw that pick, and you were like, "Oh shit! I already bought a Mac Jones jersey. He's probably going to get traded. What is going on?"
Yeah, I don't wear my Brady and Gronk Patriots jerseys until they've retired. So I only.
Oh, those are in a shadow box for the time being.
Yep. Yes.
There's so
you won't
much
wear a
here.
Brady jersey on Tampa when Tampa Bay's playing? You won't wear a Brady jersey?
I have a Tampa Bay Brady jersey.
Oh, yes! Oh my god!
I'm about to buy another one too.
The only way to transition to the Bruins is to ask Rubba Shoes how many Bruins jerseys he has.
Thank you, Adam.
Go ahead,
On to
Rubba
hockey.
Shoes.
On to hockey. Which I don't want to talk about my weekend, but we will. Go ahead.
Oh no! What happened on your weekend?
Oh my God. So we were all hockey all the time this weekend, right?
Yeah.
So Janina's company has a skybox at the Whittemore Center.
Right.
So we were in the
So
box.
you didn't have to sit with the UNH people.
Thank God. We were in the box for. Scotty's like, why do you say that? Why do you do that?
My wife heard that right now.
Oh, she's fine.
Like
Amy hates
sure
me
she's
anyway.
listening.
Amy already hates me. It doesn't matter. So BC's at UNH. We get clapped. Saturday morning, Francis and I go to the Garden. We win, which is good. The Bruins won in overtime, which was great. And I called it. I said 4-3. And then we went down to Commonwealth Avenue and went to BC for UNH at BC, and we got clapped again.
Oof.
And then we got in the car and drove home listening to the first half, got home for the second half, but before we got in the car, it was already over. Before we got in the car, the game was already over. Go ahead.
Yeah.
You didn't make it to the Kowloon?
No, there wasn't really a celebratory vibe going on at the time. Like, yeah.
You got drunk and
You were 1-4,
wallowed
1-3
in
for
your
the
Yes,
weekend.
yeah. I agree, Rubber Shoes. There's never a bad time to go to Kowloon. We just chose not to.
Right. Yep.
We went straight home.
Well, I'm sorry you had such a terrible weekend, Timmy, but it's good that the Bruins won.
It is.
And even though I'm famously not the biggest Bruins fan, I have no jerseys to speak of.
There
of
it is.
Bruins,
Good night,
Bruins
everybody.
gear.
Try the veal.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm very happy that they're hitting the ice and, as Timmy would say, melting the ice these days. I'm sure Rubber Shoes has a lot of thoughts on it. What jersey are you wearing tonight, Rubber Shoes, when you get home?
I'm at the fire station. Oh, I'm at the fire station.
He's wearing his Latitude shirt. What does this shirt say?
Oh,
This is just
Some pithy saying on the
this
back,
one
like
just
burgers
says-
and tots
this
coming in
says
hot.
Lowell Fire. I didn't get a Latitude one yet.
Lowell.
All right,
it's just
so-
a Lowell Fire.
Yeah.
Super annoyed. I'm driving in Saturday. I checked with Rubber Shoes because I heard that Olmark was going to start. Of course, I wanted Tukkaa to start. And then Tukkaa starts last night, and I'm like, oh, God, we missed it by one game, and he gets lit up.
You
So-
didn't miss much.
No, my God.
He
Well,
didn't stop much.
but talk to me about that. Do you really think he's that rusty? Is that really what's happening?
No, that. He gave up 5 goals, but probably 2 of them was his fault. The defense did not show up last night in that game.
Yeah.
They were getting, even if the defense was back, they were making passes right around them, and I felt bad for Tukkaa because he definitely should have been able to play the whole game. It should have maybe been, 3-1 after the first period, and he could have played. But after 5, I was like, but my wife was like, "Why haven't they pulled him yet?" I'm like, "It's close enough to the end of the period. They don't want to embarrass him, taking him off the ice. They're just gonna let him end the period, and then Ullmark will start the second." And that's exactly what they did.
That was tough.
Isn't it a little messed up that they threw him out there against the best team in the conference? Carolina's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Like,
that's what they think of their other starter.
Honestly, though, yeah, you're right. I mean,
There's a reason why
I thought
they
it was just
signed
like-
him.
I just figured that was his time, I guess. But who's not the other starter? Who's the because Swayman's still down. They still left
Swayman's
him
down.
Ullmark.
Olmark. Yeah, that's Olmark.
Omar, thank you. Yeah, Jesus. I mean, it was,
And he's not going anywhere because of that deal. Nobody's going to take that deal
Right.
off our hands.
No, he. So I guess that I did. They could put him on waivers to get to Providence, but that I'm sure no one's going to take him because they'd have to. If they claim him off waivers, then he gets. But I think if he clears waivers, he becomes a free agent before he gets sent to Providence. So that's where a tricky thing where Swayman has, you still have options with him. They can just send him down. No one can interfere with him.
Right.
So that's but other than last night's game, they've been really doing really good since the COVID break.
What do you make of Marchand getting? He just got a league award for the week. I think I forget what it was.
Yeah, he got the first star for last week. Yeah,
for the last week, and the All-Star snub. I mean, I can't make sense of that.
I'm not the biggest Marchand fan. Because I used to root against him so much, I still have trouble rooting for him. But that was
he has 3
huge
shirts,
snub.
by the way, Adam. If you're keeping score, though.
No, I have 0 Marchand
I was
shirts.
just start a tally here on my.
There's not enough ink in your pen, sir.
But that was it. One, he didn't make the first team, and then he wasn't even on the ATA guy vote. I was like, wow, that's a huge snub.
It's really curious. I don't know. I mean, but it's people that just don't like him.
Well, that's just it. How can a guy be 10th in points and not make the freaking All-Star team? Come on.
Right.
10th in points in all of the NHL right now, and he's not going to make the All-Star team? Come on.
Yeah, I don't know. It's very, very, very frustrating. Very, very frustrating.
And then I think the NBA All-Star is even worse. Like, they have guys that haven't even played a game or played like 10 games this year that
we don't have the time for this. I can't even tell you how friggin' ridiculous the NBA friggin' All-Star thing is. Such full of shit. It's garbage. They shouldn't friggin' have the way that the whole voting goes in. It drives me friggin' nuts. You have absolutely there's nothing. Let's throw this. Let's make the fans just do it. And it drives me nuts. I hate it. I'm sorry. I'm
Scotty's angry. I don't see him get angry very often.
I used to like the way that the NBA All-Star Game was, like how it came together. But now, like the way that like the voting and all that stuff, the way they have it set up now, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you do in the first half of the season or over the first 3 quarters of the season. It's because it really doesn't. People are going to vote for who the hell they're going to vote for, and it's so freaking stupid.
Yeah, isn't Klay Thompson one of the guys that's like making it right now? And he's only played 2 weeks.
He's like 4th in shooting guards, for votes. 4th. He's played 3 games.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
He's pretty good though. Those 3 games, he was pretty good. I don't think I haven't watched an All-Star game in probably 10 years of any sport. To be honest, I have never watched not never, but very rarely would I watch the Pro Bowl, the NBA All-Star game when I was a kid, and I would watch that. I loved the NBA All-Star game when I was a kid, but I haven't watched it in forever. I would never watch the NHL All-Star Game. And Major League Baseball is fun every once in a while. Depends if there's like the storyline around it. But other than that, it's just sort of watching paint dry for me. So I don't have Scotty feels obviously very strongly about the NBA All-Star Game. Personally, I have no feelings on it whatsoever. I think they should disband it and just keep playing. Why do we need a stupid break in the middle of the season? Just keep playing. Go.
I do like the NBA All-Star Saturday night, by the way. Like the dunk contest, 3-point shootout, like the skills, like that stuff to me.
All those things are fun. Sure. Even for the NHL, they're fun.
Stuff. Yeah. Like that's.
Yeah, I like. Is that the night that they do the rookie game
and the home run derby?
Or the?
That's the night before. Usually the rookie game is usually.
I like the rookie game.
Friday.
It's fun.
Like Friday night.
Yeah, I think they might get to a point where they just eradicate all the games, right? Because now the NHL is going to be, I believe, Rubba Shoes can correct me. The NHL is going to be 3-on-3, which makes sense. Nobody's hitting, right? That. The NBA is a slam dunk contest, even during the game, right? It's just and the NFL. God, who did we have, Scotty? It was years ago in the rookie game on the beach. Our running back blew his knee up.
Robert Edwards.
Robert Edwards blew his knee up. The kid from Georgia, right? Yep. He was playing that stupid rookie game on the beach and rolled
1,000 yards that his rookie year too.
Yeah, and he blew up. So I think they're going to get rid of. They're still going to vote people in. There won't be a game, but they'll still do all because they're getting people to a city. They're creating revenue and excitement. Blah blah blah. Right. But yeah, I think I agree with you, Adam.
Excitement is a long shot.
Well, the best thing the Major League Baseball did was making the All-Star game home field advantage for the World Series.
Yes, that makes it a little bit more interesting. Right?
Yeah, because if the Sox are in the fight, you're like, cool. Because as I've established ad nauseum, there's no reason to watch a baseball game on TV unless it's at Fenway. Done. Thank you. Thank you. Honestly. We've talked about this, and we'll get into this as the Red Sox come back into the fold. We'll talk more about it. When I put on the Red Sox, and they're playing anywhere but Fenway, I have no desire to watch. Yeah. Zero
Tim,
desire.
We can't leave without me asking you this question because
yes, sir.
When I saw it, I was like, oh my God, Tim must be going nuts.
Oh boy.
So the Cowboys are playing the 49ers. The punt hits the scoreboard, and they do a do-over. It must have drove you nuts. Is that? That seems like something you would have gone bananas over.
We were passively watching that game. I did not see that happen.
Oh, okay.
I didn't see it hit the C ring.
Can we go over Mike McCarthy as a head coach?
Oh, for God's sakes, we don't.
You've only got a few more minutes, but go ahead.
Dallas deserved to lose that game. Both teams deserve to lose the game, but Dallas, so stupid. I don't understand how they kept Mike McCarthy on for next year, or they're saying that.
I don't. I think that's not done yet. Jerry.
Oh my goodness.
Jerry was asked after the game, "Have you ever been more miffed than you are right now?" And he's like, "I can't remember." Which means
he wouldn't even have.
Which means absolutely, but I don't want to say anything stupid.
The media for the most part.
Just amazing. No timeouts. Let's do a quarterback sneak.
Oh my God, it was so.
Oh my God.
I've got a lot of friends that are Dallas fans. It was a pleasure. Yeah, because when I'm sitting on the island watching my ship burn into the water, I can't wait to watch all the other ships burn.
Everybody else's ship burn.
That's because what did I say 2 weeks ago? I'm here. I want you kids. I want all of it.
I know.
So if we're going down, you're going down.
I have a buddy who's a Green Bay Packers fan. His wife is a Patriots fan, and he's a Green Bay Packers fan. Well, I can't root hard enough against the Packers because I just don't want him to be happy about it. I'm miserable. Yes. I want him to be miserable.
Yes, it's after the holidays. We are devoid of happiness.
That's right.
Excellent. We'll leave you on that note.
Joy to the world.
Scotty gave the look. The baseball spring training start is in jeopardy right now.
Yeah, that's right. You're so right. Yeah, we're probably not going to have
away
baseball
from the table
soon.
And doing nothing right now.
So we have the Westchester Knicks to talk about. That's exciting.
Connecticut Sun are back in like 6 months, so lots to talk about.
Are they? Are they though?
I might have to leave.
I might have to leave because of the basketball. Does he have a call?
Is like, I'm a Las Vegas Aces guy. I don't know about you, but I got 5 Las Vegas Aces jerseys. So
what a way to wrap this up. He's going on a call.
Oh.
It's like Reno 911. I love this.
There's a cat and a tree.
So good. So good. Awesome. Well, thank you for hanging out with us. Please head to atbshow.com. Click all the links. Subscribe. Share with your friends. Comment. And by all means, if you have a bigger shirt collection than Rubba Shoes, we want to see it. Leave it in the comments.
Pictures.
We will do a 5-up and we will interview you all about it. Because I don't think there's a person in a healthy marriage on the planet that has more shirts than him. Not that I'm saying they're not in a healthy marriage. I'm saying he has a healthy. Yeah, sure.
That's the criteria, though. That's the criteria. You have to have more shirts and a healthy marriage.
You can't live alone. Disqualified. Disqualified. All right, boys. Have a great week.